For those of you that are tuning in, because I just went live. Oh no. Oh no. I pushed the go live button faster than I meant to. I hadn't even gotten the thing in a tripod yet. Let's see here. What's up, Tristan? I did not finish anything last night. I had said that I was doing an Instagram live feed, and I had said, hi. I had said that I might come back and finish that knife I was working on. Morning, Cody. Didn't I just talk to you? What's up, buddy? Did you get your knife? I can't remember if you said you got your knife. For those of you who don't know, I'm a huge Disney, I'm a big kid. I have probably 10 different Walt Disney mugs from Disneyland. Well, yeah, because my wife has some, I have some. So yeah, we've got a lot. I didn't buy one this year. Get me through my mornings at work. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to be working at work. What are you growling at? Don't you dare. No. I'm babysitting a friend's dog. Oh, hell. Yeah, that's kind of what I said, because I do have to sharpen this Benchmade. Hang on a second. I think I'm going to let him come out here. Oh, come here. Come on. You can come out. Okay, you stay there. Now get out from under my workbench. Dealing with a nasty roof leak waiting on a contractor. So this is great. Oh, good for you. Sort of, I guess, ish. Hey! Bird's here. Birdshot's here. I am going to do something I haven't done before. I've never sharpened one of these. This is the Ferrum Forge Ferox. Ferox? Yeah. But it's in 4V. Now, I've sharpened knives in 4V, all for one customer. The only knives I ever got in 4V all came from one customer in New Mexico, I think he was. If he shows up, he can let you know, because sometimes he shows up on my live feeds. Anyway, he always requested his no more than 1,000 gram. So I have sharpened 4V. The thing about 4V is it rusts. It will rust and will oxidize fairly easily. So I've got to make sure I don't think there's enough baking soda in that water that I'm using. So I got to put a little bit more in. And that's not cocaine. It's baking soda. Do you know what else baking soda will do? Just for you guys, I have a friend that does a lot of work and he uses super glue and he needs it to set quick. If you put baking soda on super glue, it cures instantly. I was like, wow, really? He goes, yeah, you gotta be careful though. You get pulled over, you got a bag of baking soda in your car. You're gonna get some funny looks. I was like, yeah, I can see that. So just a pinch of baking soda will offset the pH level and keep you from getting that orange coating on a blade. I use it when I do high carbon steels. I use it when I do straight razors that are high carbon steel. It's not as bad as I'm using the actual water stones, but I'm using these aluminum oxide stones. So I need to wipe that off. So misplaced my rag again. You guys are gonna come for a ride with me. We're gonna get a rag. Sabo, what are you doing over there? You guys can see my friend's dog too. Get out of stuff. Hey. Hey. Hey, come on. Sub, come on, let's go back in the house. Come on. These are supposed to be done and sent out. These knives have got to go out today. And then Bird, if you're still there, this Lansky World Legal knife is going to get carried today. That's why it's sitting there. Look at that. So you guys don't know, Frankie made that for me. That was my Christmas present. It hangs up in my kitchen. Frankie made me a bird knife, a knife bird. She made me a thing. So, yeah, Frankie, it is cool. My wife loves it. So I keep telling Frankie and Bird that they need to come out here sometime so that we can hang out, do some things that are illegal where they live, that are perfectly legal here. So anyway, what I was saying was, I've never taken 4V up. Yes, I did get those abalone scales, and they are gorgeous. I just haven't decided what I'm going to put them on. There's a good chance they're going to be on my daughter's knife that I did not get finished before Christmas. I just ran into too much stuff. Doing things for free, as much as I would love to do it, that knife I'm making for my daughter is a prototype, which I may make later if I decide I like it. But I'm also not getting paid to do it, and things where I'm getting paid to do it keep interfering with me doing things for fun. But the nice thing is, the things I'm getting paid to do, I enjoy and it's fun. So if you guys fight over that toy, I'm going to come in there and I'm going to separate you. You fight over the toys. I got a ton of dog toys and they're fighting over a specific one. I'm probably going to work on my daughter's knife today, but I am going to. Oh, hey guys. You know those pendants I was making? I'm going to try and make a bunch of those today and tomorrow. While I'm waiting on stuff to come back from double disc grind, I've got some downtime. I did make my daughter one of those pendants for Christmas. Those Timascus pendants that I make, those, I'm going to have a bunch of those that I'm going to get done. I think I'm going to have enough for like maybe 5 more that are already cut out, maybe a couple after that. But the level of difficulty making those and the amount of work and the potential for injury, working on something so small on a Scotch-Brite wheel and on a grinder, I am charging, I'm not gonna lie, I'm charging $100 for them, but they are beautiful. If you haven't seen them, I posted some of them up on my Instagram. I made one for my wife, made one for my daughter. I've made one for my mother-in-law. My father-in-law wanted one, so I made him one. He wanted his to be square. So his is the only square one. The rest of them are almost a teardrop shape. So, but like I was saying, I've never taken 4V beyond 1,000. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens with 4V at the 10,000 and see what it feels like. And if it doesn't feel as though it's the way I want it, I'll talk to Chris and we'll talk to the owner of this knife. This knife came in to their shop for warranty work, and I am just simply doing the resharpening because Elliot didn't want to do 4V. Can't blame me. 4V it can be a pain. So I had to do a good bit of reprofiling and stuff like that. As long as those guys don't tumble the blades, it's not too hard to it's when they retumble a blade and put it in the ceramic stones and re-stonewash stuff, that really tears the edge up. And so this knife had obviously been resharpened by somebody that was not Elliot. It was very clear, very obvious. Elliot's edges are easy to pick out of a lineup, because Elliot does an amazing job. If you guys are watching their website, they announced on their website that all of this next run of knives will have my edge, regardless. It's not even something you have to order. Let's see, anybody say anything here? Start taking payments in cash. I need to send you a couple. I can do payments in cash, but I prefer, here's the thing. I had a customer send me some knives yesterday. He emailed me. I didn't get a chance to tell him how I do it. He's sending me the cash. Well, he said if the work takes more, then yeah, he'll pay me the rest via PayPal. There's 2 reasons I don't like that. One, it doesn't leave me latitude to, I mean, he's saying it leaves me latitude. If you send me a cash payment, I'm kind of locked in with what I quote you over phone. If I get that knife in, it's more work, because it has happened, where a knife is a lot more work than it appears in a picture. If you're only doing cash, that screws up my latitude and ability to change that price if it's more work. And then I'm basically stuck in doing work for free. Not for free, but for less than it should be. And the other reason is, if you're sending me cash and that box comes up missing, not only are you out the knife, because things get stolen. I mean, even things that are insured come up missing from time to time. But if you send me that and it comes up missing, I feel bad for, I worry about people that are sending me cash in a package, because the fact is, if the package comes up missing, you're not only losing the knife, you're losing the cash you sent me. And, you know, then we're both out, you know. It's bad enough to lose a knife, but then to lose, you know, money too, that's kind of sucks. And I don't like seeing that happen to any of my customers. I like all of my clients, as I like to call them, not customers, because client kind of has the connotation of more of a long-term relationship than just a customer. So, I mean, you know, things get delivered, even insured, get delivered to wrong addresses. I have a customer named Mike sent me a Sabenza, nice Sabenza, one of the ones with the inlays. Got a delivery notification. It was not in my mailbox. It was supposed to require a signature, but it said it was put in the box, even though it was supposed to require a signature. And it came up missing. And so they did the GPS. They went back to where it was delivered, and, you know, no one knew anything about it. So it's frustrating. And I've had people say, well, I've had people ask, well, if a customer's knife comes up missing, who's liable for that? Are you going to pay him? And I was like, no, it's not my fault that things got lost in the mail. That's a risk that we're both taking. I have had people send stuff to Fair and Forge. If you require a signature, there's a good chance it's going to be a delay because I have to go pick it up. Well, yeah, thank you. Thanks to Birdshot. There's a lot of you guys that came to this channel because of Birdshot. And hopefully, Birdshot and I worked out a deal here not too long ago. Why don't I get a P.O. box? Because that's additional cost. And, you know, and then I would have to drive to it's not, my post office is a good 10, 15-minute drive from here. So, you know, I'm taking away from time if it gets delivered here. In the big scope of things, if things work out well, I'm gonna spend a lot more time here at this workbench, and I'll be here when the mailman comes. But I've got a deal worked out with my mailman. He knows where he slides it under now, under my gate if it doesn't fit. I marked my gate with my house number, so now I can slide stuff under if it doesn't fit in my mailbox. So that has made things a lot nicer. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. Yes, I have done a couple of the Tashi designs, Tashi knives. They're pretty nice designs. Oh, I see him all the time. He's a really good guy. My neighbor is also a postal delivery, so they're friends. So, you know, when there's like a party or something, they come over. And I see my mailman at my neighbor's parties that they have occasionally. So .4V, I hate 4V. Sharpening 4V. It's a really good steel, but I don't like sharpening it. I don't like the way it feels. I don't like I think I've gotten so used to 20 CV that I've gotten used to the interface between. This is a Fair & Ford's Ferox in 4V. It's a very nice knife. It reminds me a lot of the Pretium. It's like a better version of the Pretium that Elliot made. I have a Pretium, so I'm using that as a point of comparison. I like them. I've always seen them and liked them. It's the first one of them I've ever sharpened. Oh, so anyway, Like I was saying, Elliot announced on the website, if you're following their website, every one of those knives comes with an Emler edge now. Not just the maker's choice. Nick, if you had one of my knives, you'd already have it. Elliot did his LMAX in that same heat treat, and it's amazing. That Pretium I have is amazing how well it holds an edge. Would you two dummies knock it off before you tear up my kitchen? See how many knives I can get done this morning. I do need to get up to Elliot's. I've got some stuff I need to do. I need to make those pendants. I keep saying I'm going to do it. I need to get it done because I haven't made a lot of money this month. I'm not going to lie. My wife's been on me. So I'm thinking if I get those pendants, 5 or 6 of them, you know, I'm looking at like $600 that I could make on those. Because, you know, what am I looking for? Valentine's Day is coming up. I put rings on them and everything. Well, hey, it's my other sweet buddies. Oh, they play with the neighbor's German Shepherd all the time. It's like watching chaos. I have to leave the husky on. I've got him on a really long leash in the kitchen. He can get to the steps, can't go up, because the thing is, the cat doesn't mind our dog. My dog, or that dog, my cat can't stand that dog. So what I do is, I leave the cat have the entire upstairs. I've got a window the cat can get in and out because there's a hole in the screen. We don't use that room. It's in my office basically. And so I leave that window partially open so the cat can hop in and out that hole in the screen. And so when the cat hops in and out the hole in the screen, well, if I let him loose, he runs upstairs because he knows the cat's up there. And he chases the cat. He's not at all doing anything mean, not trying to hurt the cat. He just wants to play, like he sees my dog did. Nope, not happening. Not my cat, she ain't having it. So, wet these real quick. Has anyone... He just likes fast food. No, I don't think... he wouldn't hurt the cat. You can see it. He wants to play. It's all playful. He plays with my friend's neighbor's cat. And things like that. But my cat can't stand us. Now, Elliot's dog, Bobby. When Bobby's here, my cat doesn't have a problem with Bobby. But it does not like Sabado at all. So we're gonna... Like I said, this is the first 4V that I've put on a stone higher than 1,000. I'm curious. I have a small parrot. You can say, oh yeah, that's what I need, more chaos. The dog chasing the cat chasing the bird. That's just what I fucking need in my life. Thanks, looking out, good looking out. Oh, I was thinking, I don't know how many subscribers I have in San Diego. I know I have a few, but I was thinking about maybe doing a meetup, like a get-together of just the crazy sharp San Diego area. You know? Just a thought. Oh yeah, you're close. It'd probably be on a Friday. I'm not going to San Jose. I mean, if you wanted to come, feel free. But it would basically be just fucking get together and have some beers. 2,000 looks good as fuck. It'd be like a BYOB thing, because I mean, I'm not buying beer for everybody. I'd have to figure out how I would do it and stuff like that, but how I'd do it where some local breweries and tasting rooms probably could do it there. The pool hall right across, just there close to Fair and Forge, is an option. Bring them some business. All right. Any hotels nearby? Yeah, there's hotels right on the corner. There's hotels, I mean, like within walking distance of, just within walking distance of the pool hall, like maybe a couple 100 yards. There's a whole bunch of hotels there in the Claremont area. Yes, well within stumbling distance. I don't know. It does not look like I'm going to be going to Vegas next week. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out completely with the guy from Reich Knives. I talked to him yesterday. It does not sound like he's going to go. And I don't know if the people that are going in his stead are able to make any decisions. So I'm going to talk to him and see. That might have gotten pushed off. I don't know. He's been really busy, and I do understand. They just came out of, you know, Reich being a Chinese company, they just came out of Chinese New Year. So that's Nico. I have not heard yet whether it's even going to happen. So try and find out. I mean, I'm willing to go. I would love to go. That would be fun. Me, you, and Matt going to fucking Vegas just for a day, a turnaround. So it would have to be between Tuesday and Friday. Those are the days that SHOT Show is there. I'm gonna try and text that guy. I don't know doo-doo about sharpening, so... Well, see, that's the thing. That's the nice thing about this. You don't know nothing doo-doo about sharpening. That's why I put my fucking email and everything at the beginning of each video. I got mosquitoes out here. I'm gonna have to light one of those mosquito coils. It needs a little bit more time on that 10,000 grit. 4V. It's not. I know they're trying to get ahead. Chinese New Year is. Did you say it's not Chinese New Year's yet? Yeah, I know they're coming up on against Chinese New Year and everything. We're coming out of Chinese. I don't know how I said it. That's not what I meant. I get one of them skeeter coils. I'm getting bit. Calm down before you rip the screen. Yeah, I tried to call you a couple times on that old phone of yours, and you didn't answer. And it said it did not have a voicemail. This is I'm talking to Nika. It said it did not have a voicemail that had been set up. I mean, yeah, I could use a lighter, but I got a fucking torch and fire. So I have an enclosed canopy that will be here, I think tomorrow it's coming. And so there's gonna be different canopy and stuff. Oh, Nico, do you wanna come down this weekend and we'll set everything up and rearrange this? I was gonna ask you and Matt. I was gonna ask Matt on Friday, but I may text him and see, because I didn't think it was gonna get here. I didn't think the new canopy and everything was gonna come until like next week sometime, but it looks like it's gonna be here tomorrow. So Nico and I had talked about it. We're gonna move this canopy over to the other side of the yard. I'm gonna take that old table and stuff apart over there so that I can get it out for AMVETs and just basically rearrange this backyard area so my wife can hang up clothes over there. The new canopy is gonna have sides. So as you can see, you know how I'm starting to get hit by the sun and it's gonna screw up the lighting? That's gonna eliminate some of that. But I don't know what tint this blue canopy is gonna give me, or if it's gonna be too dark inside. So I may be going to Home Depot and just buy a fluorescent drop light and get it mounted inside the canopy somehow. So we shall see. Borrowing that for a day. What were you borrowing? What for the day? I missed something, Nico. I'm not sure what you were talking about. Oh, the phone. Gotcha now. On target. Tracking. Check site clear. Gear Bear is sending, I'm getting Instagram. Chris's knives, Modite, off of on Instagram. I have two of his knives. They've been sitting there. I was going to do videos about them, and I never did. And then I couldn't find his address anywhere, and I DM'd him a couple times on Instagram and was unable to get his address. I've got his address now. I have to ship those today. I feel bad. I've had a couple of his knives for a while, longer than most people's knives stay here. It just happened with all the holidays, and my daughter got sick and all that stuff, and it was just a pain in the patootie, as my grandmother used to say. Don't know how this is going to. 4V, I have noticed in the past, 4V is one of those steels that does not like to give up the scratch pattern as easily as others. And so there's a lot of times that it does not look as polished as some of the others. So let's see what this feels like coming off of these strops. If it does not feel the way I think it should, I'm gonna talk to Chris about maybe this not being a mirror polish. Feels pretty good there. Let's try it down 1/2 micron. .4V is a good all-around steel. It's just like I said, the issues with it likes to corrode real easily. It lives in your pocket, and the next thing you know, you got rust on it. That's my only issue with it, but I have a lot of carbon steel, old knives that were done in carbon steel. Most of them are some of my grandfather's old folding knives, like his pocket knives, true pocket knives. Like traditional style pocket knives. Oh yeah, that looks really good. Yeah, that's nice and sharp. Let's see. Frog lube, absolutely not. I don't like frog lube on knives. Guns, it's good. Frog lube on knives has a tendency to get sticky. It gums up the works. You get down in the pivot and then it's sticky. I actually fixed Andy from Nowpax. I took his Chavez 228 apart and cleaned it up for him. That is fucking amazing. Polished. That looks really good. That looks really, really good. So always, you know me. It's time. I'm clear to the center page. I'm to the order form in my Smoky Mountain Knife Works catalog. You need to send me another one. I'll be out of test material, test medium soon. Now that I have a trash can out here, the yard looks so much better. There's not pieces of fucking magazine blowing around in the yard when it's windy. It looked like a hillbilly lived here. Well, I mean, rightly so. Any M390 from Kaiser and stuff like that? Oh, it's I've got other stuff for that, for corrosion prevention on the blade. That EDC eye spray that the guys used to send out is pretty good. I just put a light coat. I'm getting ready to do it right now. After I wipe it off good with some alcohol, and put a light coat of fucking nano oil on it this time, or I could put what's the word I'm looking for here? TW5 Bravo. On it. Makes gunk down the pivot. What was that bird? What did you say, bird shot? We have those paper shreds all over everywhere. Even when we clean them, we still find them everywhere. They blow out more than you need. That's all right though. I can always wipe off the excess. That's the nice thing about the stuff. It takes a really light coat. It only takes a really light coat to give you some really good corrosion protection. And it sticks with it. It's that synthetic grease that I told you guys about the other day that I used on my Sebi. So just put it on and wipe it back off. And it gives you some pretty good corrosion protection. I will take it back up to the Ferrum guys. That knife is done. 23, have I done a ZTs? Didn't we talk about your 456? Euro 456? Didn't we talk about that? That you wanted it anodized? And I said I could do whatever you wanted, really, as long as it falls within the spectrum of titanium. I'm not gonna lie, I have a whole tub of it, like a 1 pound tub that I got from a buddy of mine when his ship decommed and they weren't using it anymore. They weren't doing gun stuff. You know, the weapons shop was shut down and they were just gonna throw it away. I thought you emailed me. Somebody else contacted me about it then because they had the same knife. It's my Uncle Bob's birthday. And it's Pip Corona's. If you guys get a chance, go find Pip Corona on Instagram and wish him happy birthday. This one is one that my buddy Matt already paid for and everything. It was so badly ground, this Benchmade at the tip. The entire edge was so badly ground. I actually handed over to Elliot to regrind the edge on the grinder for me, and that means that I don't have to take off. I'm still gonna have to reprofile it. There's still issues with this grind, and I'm gonna have to still reprofile it. But to reprofile a knife this size in S30V on my stones would be a nightmare. It really would. So we're gonna just do it the way we did. I don't know. I've never anode anything with inlays. That's a question I will ask Christopher when I get there today. Because I know that the Sebenzas, you can't take the inlays out. I probably could do it with the wand. Basically, it's like a magic marker for ano. We could see if that would work, but not 100% sure how that would work out. I could probably mask them off with liquid tape if I was careful. So I've had problems. I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on. My security system has been kicking offline and back on. It has a little router, a wireless router basically, that's connected to my Wi-Fi, and then all the sensors communicate with it. It uses the phone line as a backup. But I disconnected the phone line from it because I was having so many problems with the phone line and all that. So I've got to figure out what's going on with that. I think I'm gonna just have to contact the company and get a new router for it. This is going to be, Matt wants a kind of an outdoorsman working edge on this. That's what I'm working on right now. Lining this angle up, trying to get it perfect, because it was not. Even after Elliot did it, he got it as close as he could get. It was so bad. Yeah, my favorite. Fuck S30V. I'm not gonna lie, S30V has some incredible wear resistance. That's the only thing it's got going for it. Because even with that wear resistance, it still doesn't hold an edge real well, which I find surprising, and it chips. As much as our friend Vinny would argue with me, it does chip. Bird and I both talked about that. Bird and I talked about it over a text. So this is a really thick blade, and it needs to be, so this edge has to be kind of drawn back pretty far. So I'm doing a really, really heavy recurve on this to account for that. My dog's kind of an asshole. She knows that he can't go in the living room. She'll get to play, and then she'll grab the toy that he likes, and she'll take it to the living room and just sit far enough, and I can hear it when he hits the end of that chain because the table squeaks a little bit. I have a marble top table, so it's pretty fucking heavy. So he's unable to slide the table, but you can hear that the table leg squeak like a eh, because he's a husky. He's pretty strong. I hate this steel. It's such a pain in the ass. You know, another one I don't like that a lot of people do, and people are going to argue with me, is S90V. I love Brian Nadeau's Mini Typhoons. but I don't like the steel. I don't like the steel. Even when you get it sharp, it doesn't, it's a weird, it feels weird. That steel just doesn't feel, it doesn't feel like it's getting, it doesn't feel like it's sharp. And then all of a sudden you'll cut something with it. Oh no, it's fucking sharp as hell. But it doesn't feel like it. And there's a couple steels that do that. I will say S110. I love 20 CV. .20 CV is a pain to sharpen from time to time, especially the way that it's done in-house. All of Elliot's runs of knives next year, I'm gonna sharpen them. VG10, you can't put a super fine edge on it, Bird. I talked about that in the video. I don't take VG10 past 2,000 or 1,000. I usually stop at 1,000. With my VG10, I stop at 1,000. N690, which is a lot like it, you can get away with it. Later, Nico. VG10, stop at 2,000. Yeah, that's about where I stop. 1,000, 2,000. If you try and get VG10 too fine, you wind up with, it just doesn't feel, it just doesn't, it doesn't do well with a polished edge. It needs a toothier edge. We're going to try moving up the stone. Yeah, that's part of it. It does. You get it too fine or too thin, and it does want to roll. And there's a difference between fine and thin. So I will tell you guys a secret about sharpening. You will get to noticing, especially if you're doing it freehand, that you will find spots that, because the abrasive is so much coarser on a 220 versus a 400, where it looks like you've gotten that edge completely flat. And especially when you're dealing with a factory edge that still has got the 220 belt, because there's a little slack in those belts. So you'll have areas that, you know, it looks like you've gotten it all because the abrasives are so coarse that they can get down into those low spots. And then you put it on something like a 400 grit, and you're going to see little spots. You're like, holy crap, that is still got a low spot in it. And then you have to go back because the abrasives are just enough bigger that you will see it. Look, the scratch pattern looks uniform, and you put it on a 400 or a little higher, and then you start noticing it. And from 400 to 600, you'll see the same thing. And it's just one of those things. It's a trial and error thing. The more time you spend on your coarser stones, the better. If you guys watch me sharpen, you'll notice that I spend a lot more time. Queen's Cutlery. I mean, that's one of those companies I don't really have that much vested interest in. I think I have one knife from Queen's Cutlery. But I hate seeing any knife company close. I would love to see the market flooded with a ton of options at a reasonable price point. The only downside to cheaper knives is, yes and no. Yeah, I would much rather apex it all the way down to that 50 grit and make sure it's apexed and form that burr and then just knock it off on the next set of stones. Because that way you make sure that you're getting it sharp. You make sure you're getting it fine all the way to the edge. You set that angle that you're going to follow the rest of the time. And if you have to account for that on a 400 grit versus a 220, you're doing undue and excess wear on your stones. Not such a big deal on these. I have seen them, have never handled one. Yeah, I've heard not to too. But that's more for people that aren't going to refine that edge, as far as like guys like you and I do, Bird. If you're not going to refine that edge, I mean, I don't look at it any differently than I do when I make a knife and I do a factory edge. I basically do a factory edge to look at how even that is across the edge, all the way up, same width, all the way up. I got that down the way I want it. I don't look at it any differently than taking it to the apex on a 220 grit to set the angle when it's just a dead edge, when it doesn't have anything. I'm taking it to 220, you know? Yeah. Same width, all the way up. That's hard to do freehand. I don't like to brag in my videos, but I've realized I need to do a little bit of that because Chris and Elliot and I were talking about it. He's like, I don't really know anyone that's doing what you do. And I was doing a live feed one time and Chris watched it in the morning, and then it was on Instagram, and I was doing this. I was talking and sharp, because I am still sharpening. And he was like, dude, do you even look? You were sharpening I was sharpening one of their knives. And he was like, you're not even looking. And he's like, that both impresses me and worries me. And I was like, do you know how many thousands of hours I've spent doing this from the time I was a child till now? And I've gotten to where it's a feel and hear kind of thing. I don't necessarily need to watch. I can tell when I've changed angles. I can tell when I've apexed, because it sounds different. When you knock that burr completely off and it's completely smooth on that side, and it is 100% a lost, sharpening by hand is 100% a lost thing. It doesn't happen anymore. People don't do this. Now, Matt told me, he's like, it doesn't have to be beautiful. What was that, Cody? I could do it blind. Blind man's edge. Just need a new show, stroke and strop with Mike. I had a friend, actually, that he started another business, but he worked in Pahrump, Nevada, and he had a channel. He had a TV channel that he was the production manager for. And he's always been a weapons guy. He was one of the kids that worked for me on my last boat. He designed and patented his own tools for the AR-15. It was a cleaning tool for the bolt face and everything, and he designed it because he never liked the way we had to sharpen the M16s and the M4s. And so he designed his own tools for that. And it was a scraper, and it was amazing. And actually gave it to my father because he had several AR variants. So guns has always been his passions, like mine was. Don't say that, Bird. But he wanted to, when he was running that channel, he wanted me to drive out to Pahrump a couple times a month and do a spot on knives and sharpening and maintaining and stuff like that. And absolutely not the new Jay Davis. I used to like to watch his channel. And I don't really know what happened. So I was kind of wary about taking people's money up front. I think everybody paid him full price. I took a 50% deposit on those Hornets, and there's still spots available on that, by the way. He did have great content. He just, I think he got himself into a situation he couldn't handle. I am making knives aside from this. This is what I want primarily to happen. This and the anodizing and stuff like that. And Bird, I hope you're happy with the colors on that Brian Nadeau, because they look different in pictures than they do on. I couldn't capture it the way I wanted. The deal is, though, you send it back to me and I'll redo it. You're doing me a solid anyway, so. And I changed my pricing structure a little bit on that because I realized after talking to Chris that there's a lot more work that goes into what I'm doing for people. Now that Kaiser Guru looked amazing. I loved that color combo that we did on your Guru. But you know, when I'm taking a knife apart, I'm resurface finishing, I'm bead blasting, and then anodizing and doing ceramic and then reassembly and all the cleanup and masking that it takes. I have to mask all the moving parts off before I blast and refinish anything. If it doesn't have like a Sabenza does not have a lock bar insert, so that lock face interface has got to be masked off and things like that. It's stuff I don't even think about it when I'm doing it, but Chris is like, you need to charge for that. He's like, you need to charge for it or you're doing it for free. And I do like all my customers and I want them all to be happy, all my clients, I want them to be happy and stuff like that, but I also know I can't do this for free. I am starting a business and I have to temper that with good judgment. And it's getting warm out here, so I'm gonna take off my sweatshirt. Give me just a second. I need to comb my hair this morning. I'm sweating. The sun's starting to hit me. You idiots knocked the chair all the way down? I'm trying to fix that thing. Morons. I'm gonna have to fix that chair again. They knocked it down. I'm pretty sure that wood glue that I put on to hold that piece back in place. Just a minor issue with that chair. But anyway, yeah, I need to get a flat top. I got a big bald area in the middle of it. I got a solar panel on top of my head. I don't think I would look good with a flat top. Oh, this is gonna be a... So there's that side. So, if you guys do want me to do a San Diego area meetup, I want to see how many people it is. So in the comments, what's up, Ben? In the comments section on this, if you would, just however many of you that are close enough that if I did a San Diego like meetup and just have fun, if there's enough of you guys, I'll figure it out. And I'll talk to the guys over at the pool hall and see if it's something that we can get set up where we can have a couple tables and do it. If not, I'll talk to the guys at Helms and see if they'd be willing to let us do it in there, even though they're not opening the tasting room as often. It's just something I was thinking about. I'd like to get to meet, I'm one of those guys, I want to meet some of my YouTube subscribers. I get to meet a couple of them. I can't afford to go to fucking Blade Bird. I would love to. I can't afford hotel. I can't afford travel. I can't afford any of that. I'm definitely not making the money that I need to be making. Right now I'm paying my mortgage out of my savings account and have been for a few weeks. I mean, we're at the point where I got to get something going. If it doesn't happen soon, I'm gonna have to find a different job, like an actual job, like a 9 to 5 where I have a guaranteed paycheck. Because the insurance stuff, as much as I do enjoy it, I'm at the point now. At first I was doing insurance and finding time to do knives. Now I'm at the point where I have enough stuff going on that I'm doing knives, and I have to try to find time to do the insurance stuff. But the fact is, though, it's still not at the point where it needs to be sustainable right now. So I may have to take a part-time job. I hate to think about that, you know, but that's where we're at with this. I've been pushing the Patreon, but I try not to push it too hard. The Patreon would definitely help because it would be almost like income. Hey, Jeremy. Ooh, snow in that area is not good. Certain areas of the world just weren't meant for snow. When they get it, the whole place just shuts down. North Carolina would be one of them too. I remember it has snowed one time in San Diego that I can remember. My wife was pregnant, so it would have been towards the end of her pregnancy, October timeframe. We had a crazy winter storm blow through. And I knew it was coming because the sky got this weird green, and I was like, oh, I know what that means. And I warned everybody at work. I was like, hey, we're about to get it's about to throw down. And so I got home, and it had dropped 10 degrees in the time it took for me to drive from the base where I was working to my house, which really is not that far. So I was like, this is bad, because I had, you know, I was watching temperature gauge. I got home, and then it started to rain. And when I say it rained and rained and rained, and then it started to sleet. And it did that shit all fucking night. And I woke up, and there was, in my palm trees in the backyard and shit, the little palms, the little small palms, they were just filled with, and there was like ice and snow on the ground. I was like, holy shit, it was cold as fuck. And then it warmed up. Oh, it should have went away. So that was a Friday. I know it was a Friday because I was getting out early-ish, you know, like 4:30, 5 o'clock, as opposed to like 6, 7 o'clock. So it's been once, and it was horrible. Oh boy. Sure nobody needs that Hornet I got? I'm still trying to sell that Hornet. No one has bought it. I have one of the version 1, one of the Gen 1 Hornets that is still available. It's in OD green, and now it actually has a OD green Kydex sheath to go with it. So I don't need it. I would definitely like to get rid of it, get paid for it. Think about dropping the price on Instagram. Why don't you buy it from me there, Cody, Mr. Buying Maker's Choices and shit? I like the OD green came out nice. It's the only one I did in that OD green G10. Damn it. Remember I said about going up in grit, and then you find spots that did not have to go back down to 600, looks like. That's what it's looking like to me. It's not that bad, I guess. 600, going down to 600 is not as bad as having to go all the way back down. I did that the other day. I sharpened a knife for a guy. I'll tell you this is funny. I sharpened a knife for a guy, and I was doing great, and I was like, yeah, it looks good. And I dinked a chip in it on the fucking side of the stone. So I was like, fuck me. All right, what's up, Frank? Frank was gonna buy my Hornet, but we had no way of getting it to him because the rules on shipping things where he lives are really, really strict, and it would have been outside of the realm of what he could get. So Gen 2 Hornets are going to be nice, though. They are. They're off for double disc right now. I talked to Brad Larkin yesterday. I filled out the new customer request form. I shipped the blades last week. Hopefully I can get them back soon. If not, I'm going to have to do a bunch of others. I'm going to have to figure something out. I have knives coming up for sharpening. That's the nice thing, is people are sending me stuff for sharpening, so... Yep, that's sharp. So what's everybody doing? Ben, why are you just now getting up at 12 something in the afternoon? Ben is a young man that is, if you remember, I did his cold steel broken skull. I did his cold steel broken skull. That young man just recently... Could you get a 99 on your course, Ben? Ben says it's snowing. And that's why he's not at school. Two and a half hours till work. I'm at work, guys. Was that? Yep, school's been out all week, exams week no less. Yeah. My parents, or well, my mother lives in southeast Ohio, and she was telling me how bitter cold it's been the last little bit. And so this is where we're stopping on this one. We're doing this one to 2,000 grit because this is a outdoor style knife, and that's what Matt had asked for. Was more of a utilitarian edge than a... It is sharp, I'm not gonna lie. Full convex on that one. Didn't fly any jets today, just got to write up manuals. It was minus 15 the other day. I had to go to school with her. Ooh. That's bad. That's cold. So Tristan just said it was minus 15. I got a question. Can you guys see when the comments actually pop up? Birdshot. We actually got into double digits today. Well, that's good. That's good. I remember I called home one time, talked to my dad. So I was calling from Japan. And so when you guys are watching it live, you can see the other comments. So the only people that get screwed are so Tristan just said yes. The only people that are getting screwed on being able to see the comments are the people that watch this later. Whew. That doesn't sound good. 3 water main breaks? Yuck. So I called home one time and I was like, so what's the weather like that? And my dad was like, it warmed up a little bit today. I think it was 5 today. And I was like, 5? That's not a temperature. That's an age. I'm like, I'm this many. Now, somebody asked me one time about, I did a knife. I only took it through 1,000 grit and then I polished shit out of it and it looked mirror polished. And they asked me, they're like, well, how do you get a mirror polish at 1,000 grit? Now, for something like this knife, where he wants an outdoor style edge, I only went to 2,000 grit. 2,000 grit is still a really fine edge. On S30V, it comes out really mirror polished. But all I'm doing, so basically what I'm doing is, I'm not, picture all these grooves that are these V's, and they're next to each other, V, and then at the point you got all these points. So I'm stropping that at 1 micron, which gives it this mirror polish. I'm not affecting the actual micro serrations. All I'm doing is, this is abrasive enough that it will flatten off the tops of those grooves, make them a little flat. The grooves are still deep, your serrations, and this is still a 2000 grit edge. We do the same thing with 1000 on specifics, like D2 does it real well. So all you're doing is flattening out some of those V's, scratches, but you're not getting all the way down in and not taking your micro serrations off, so it's still toothy. It looks polished because now you flatten that. As long as you don't get too overzealous and dragging it and lifting your angle too much, you will maintain a pretty, this is really toothy, like it, yeah, it's toothy as fuck. A really toothy edge that is gorgeous and polished, but still right at 2000 grit. Because it's not, that abrasive is not, I say, if we're in a position to send you mutual money, we would. We appreciate, yeah, I know, I don't want you guys to think that I'm like begging you guys to send me money and shit. It's just, I'm starting a new business, and there's ups and downs that come with that. Right now, it's kind of a down. I saw you sent me a screenshot. It says right here, Birdshot sent an attachment. That'll do. Ooh. Just gotta chill. I'm out of coffee. I may have to go and make another cup of coffee. Now, I gotta do this unique cocksucker right here. This is Nico's. The good guys, Mike, we tolerate your nonsense. Well, thank you. Because my wife sure as fuck won't. Do this one. These suck. So this has not really got an edge. I'll just hit this on a 220 real quick. I am starting this one from scratch. The bad thing is, I already sharpened this knife once. That knife got done completely one time. Here not too long ago, as a matter of fact. This is Nico's purple and black force user finish Master Blaster. Or not Master Blaster, Stinger XL. So before I forget what these started at. I think they started at 5 something, and then there were different options. Nico's had gotten a very bad nick in the blade. And we are there. 500-600 depends on the options. Some dealers still have some of them. Yeah, and there may be some left for pre-order that you can buy off of Chris and Elliot's website. I'm not sure. I'll ask him when I get there today. But I'm cheap. I don't know why I did that. It's all the way down. All right. 20 CV can be so. After, like I said, after I post this video, because when I turn it off, it then posts. Just go and let me know if do you think we should do a San Diego area get together, meet up. I mean, Matt will be there. Maybe can get Nick to come down. I met a few people that were YouTube followers a couple at the California Custom Knife Show up in Anaheim. So you're gonna walk to California. You guys see the holes? I got holes in my canopy. That's why we ordered a new one. This one will work good though, just for the area over here where my grill and everything is. So whew. It's toasty under this canopy once the sun comes up. What a miss. Who's talking? You sleep under my bed. I'm small, you won't notice. Yeah, it would, because I would have to take the drawers out for you to even get up under there. Ooh. I have got to order some stones too. Damn, I need a 400 grit. I need another diamond plate. Did this just get real dark? Did the feed just get really dark all of a sudden? Okay, because on my screen it looks really, really dark. Better get your mom's permission before you start walking this way. It's dark when I drink. I'm only retarded when I drink. I know you were joking. You're a smart enough kid to at least take a Greyhound. That's one of the worst experiences of my life was taking a Greyhound. It was horrible. I forget where I had to go. I left somewhere and took a Greyhound to go somewhere else. Wait, what was that? What? You erased your message. I didn't even get a chance to read it. No, but I will tell you what I do get mean when I drink wild turkey. It's a bad situation all around. No one likes it. I wake up and regret it the next day. My friends would say, like, if you see him have a shot of wild turkey, grab him, and we've got to go. Because the chances of the police arriving have just multiplied exponentially. I stood up on a bar and challenged everyone in the bar to a fight one time. And we were in the kind of bar where shit like that, they're like, all right, fucking, let's get in line. Let's get this shit started. Bad. Bad, bad idea all around. Me drinking that shit. Yeah, some thoughts on Anthem texted you about. What was that? Hey Mike, some thoughts on the Anthem I texted you about the other day. Yeah, I mean, I can try to take it apart. I've never taken an Anthem apart. I know that all I have to do is, as Bird said, just look up a Nick Shabazz video. I'm pretty sure he's taken one apart. But, If it doesn't look like I can, I'll ship it back to you, and we'll only be out shipping, you know? Uh, the thing with it being an integral, it's all gonna be one color. I could do the pocket clip a different color, but you know, the spine versus the sides, I would have to do some serious masking. So, I mean, we'll just look at what the difficulty level is. I can't really quote you a price. Let's put it this way, I did that Sabenza that came out blue, and it looked really nice. I like $77 for the work on that is what I was looking at with refinishing, because I will have to refinish and stuff like that. It's just one of those things that I'm gonna have to play it by ear. You know what I mean? What was that? Somebody asked a question. Do all packages sent to you go to the same address, meaning too big for your mailbox? Yes, they still go to the same address. If they're too big for my mailbox, my mailman slides them under my gate for my yard, and that way they're not laying out to get picked up. They're not laying out for somebody to steal. I mean, so, you know, it's just, it depends. If it requires a signature, it winds up going to the post office, and I have to go there to pick it up, which I don't like having to go. I have to go there today. I've got some shit to ship out today. But what time is it? I'm trying to get stuff done. I want to get out of here early enough that I can get some stuff done up at the shop and then be home before my daughter has ice skating this afternoon. Today's a short day for her at school. So I had to take her to the doctor yesterday for a shoulder issue. She has some nerve impingement in her left shoulder, so we're trying to take it easy. We're gonna have to help her with her stretching. I didn't do Statue of Liberty. I did Statue of Liberty on Pip Corona's Mako. So what did you say, Ben? That would be funny if it'd be funny if Nick had a secret nursery he has to take I got a new rice cooker. I gotta take it apart. This is Nick Shabazz here. We're gonna take apart a refrigerator. I'm gonna sharpen the door handles on the candy. I just picture that. Oh, I like Nick's videos. It's entertaining. I like talking to Nick. I talked to him. I haven't talked to him for a little while. I talked to him via DM on Instagram. Take apart the Pentagon's network. Nick's a pretty smart guy. After having talked to him, I know some stuff about Nick that I did not know. He's a pretty smart dude. Pretty smart guy. So, 80 minutes, Jesus. Well, that's not bad. That's 3 knives. I'm almost done with this one. Think, now that I'm at the 2000 grit, this is the point where you find out if there's anything you have to go back and touch up, because 2000 grit will show anything that got missed in the sharpening. And it sucks that you have to go that far, but a lot of times if you've gotten it to 2000 grit and you're just starting to see it on 2000 grit, you can fix it by just going back down to 600 and just rectify that situation. Wrecked him. Damn, it killed him. I have a lot of stuff I want to get done today. I want to get a bunch of those pendants done today so I can get them posted up. I probably could get maybe 3 of them done, I think. If I just get there and I don't fuck around and I don't bullshit, I don't drink a bunch of beer. I don't know, I don't like taking knives apart. As Jeez, that's so sharp. 20 CV just gets so fucking wicked sharp. Well, I'm not a Marine. I'm a sailor. I will tell you a funny Marine story, though. So, we're pulling in. My job I was responsible for opening up this thing on the ship called side port. And we had a ladder that went down to the water line from the side port, and that's where the pilot came on board. Now, the pilot was a guy that guided you through the harbor. He was a master. He knew everything about that harbor, and he basically knew exactly how to get through that harbor. He's called a harbor pilot. And our job was, when the ship got underway, he would come out on a small boat, use the ladder to come aboard, and then he used the ladder to depart. And we had to open up this side port, and it's just a big open area to the water. You just open up these big doors that open up, and then you is this laggy? It looks laggy on my side. He would depart from there. Well, we opened this up, and the Marines would always be embarked, and they would come up and they'd be looking out, and they'd look, guys, you gotta clear this area. You gotta get out of here. And they'd stick their heads and they'd stick around and get back farther. And one guy looks up and he looks at me and he goes, "Is that all salt water out there?" I turned and looked at him and I was like, "Where the fuck do you think we're at? You think we're in the Columbia River or some shit? Man, get the fuck out of here. You're in the way." Another guy come out and look. He'd look out there and he goes, "You think there's any whales out there?" It's like, the fuck did they do to you in your boot camp, man? The fuck did they do to you guys? They fucking beat you guys in the head or something? Like hit you in the... Oh, you're too smart to hit that one in the head a little harder. Put a sharp stick in the corner of his nose and you jiggle it. Give him that lobotomy thing. Muscles are required, intelligence not expected. Marine. Is that all salt water? Fuck out of here. Go away. I have to admit though, some of my best friends in the world are Marines. I'll tell you a bad one. Marines would set up a shipyard or a shipboard range underway on the flight deck. And we'd go down and we'd observe because, flight deck or, shipboard gun ranges were our realm and we're supposed to be doing some safety observing, not a lot. So they had some guys down there and they were using the squad assault weapon. It is a fully automatic, it's a full auto 5.56. And, yeah, 5.56 instead of, it's basically like, you have a 240 machine gun, which uses 7.62, which is 308. The M16 uses 5.56. Well, this was basically, it looked almost identical to the 240 machine gun, except it was chambered in 5.56. And so these guys are down there, and they've got that set up and they're shooting it. There's a guy down there with a cleaning rod, and he's watching everybody shoot. And he's there in case they have a round jam in the barrel. And so this guy's whole job is to push this rod down and knock a jammed round out. So this guy pulls the trigger, the gun stops. Dot, dot, dot. And he doesn't even think twice. There's this thing called hang fire that you can get in weapons. And hang fire is strictly that. It's a hang up in the fire. And what happens is sometimes older ammo or ammo that may have gotten exposed to oil or things like that will have a delay from the time you strike the primer until it actually fires. And this guy didn't wait. You're supposed to wait 10 seconds for hang fire. This guy that was shooting stood clear, fucking hands off the gun, then just held the butt of the machine gun down so it was pointed in a safe direction, kept it pointed down range, because hands clear is what you're supposed to do. And so this guy doesn't miss a beat. It's like click, and he jams that cleaning rod, this metal cleaning rod, down the barrel. And the gun went off and blew the first section of that cleaning rod through the heel of his hand, down the arm. It went into the bone and went out and was sticking out about 4 inches. And he's just looking at it. He's like, his list is all limp, and the rest of the thing just blew apart. And so he's got a section of cleaning rod, those metal section cleaning rods, about that long in his arm that's now sticking out just down near the elbow. And he's looking at it and he goes, it doesn't even hurt. And everybody else is like panicked and flipping out. He's got chunks of fucking metal all in his hand and shit. And I was like, it's gonna fucking hurt. Just you wait. And so they get him, by the time they get him on a helicopter, he's screaming and hollering. And I was like, Jesus, what the fuck goes on? What was he thinking? Jesus. Fucking metal cleaning rod right down the fucking arm. That's a Marine. So overzealous to do his job that he violated the safety precautions and injured himself severely. I had a hang fire once. I had a hang fire once at the range with the 9mm. I pulled the trigger, the gun did not go off. I had the gun pointed, I tipped my head back like that, had my finger off the trigger, the motherfucker went off, and it went high, and the range master was like, Jesus, Mike, what the fuck was that? And I was like, I had a hang fire. Never had that happen before. One hang fire in damn near 18 years working with weapons, doing range up operations. What was that? Somebody said something here. Bolt Free Marine on the air station. Dude cut his back. Ooh. Ooh, yuck. Get pressurized water, those super high pressurized water pressure washers, those things ain't nothing to fuck around with. At all. A little hiccup back here at the back of the blade. Right at the tip, I mean. Just the tip. Just for a second. There it is. I got it. That's the nice thing about freehand sharpening. You can control what you're working on a lot easier than you can on a fixture system, because I can see where I'm interfacing the stone. Something like this I do need to watch. What I'm doing is I'm just touching up the edge at the very tip and making sure that I didn't miss anything, which is easy to do. So that is one of the prime advantages of freehand sharpening, is it allows you some latitude, but I do have to marry that all back in. So now we take that back down. Like I said, the further you go up in grit, the more chance you're going to find a little in a lawn chair? minutes. That's 3 knives in 90 minutes. That's not bad. That's like 30 minutes a knife, because this one's pretty much, it's done. As soon as I get it on this 10,000 grit, Nico's knife will be complete. So 30 minutes a knife's not bad. That's a good even pace, and especially when you consider I'm bullshitting and talking with you guys and telling stories, and a good bit of that time was stopped like this. Let's see. That's good enough for government work. I've done enough knives here. I've gotten to where I'm doing enough more knives. I can feel the burr at 10,000 grit. I can feel that burr. It's just a little bit more. Yep, there's a little bit of a burr on that. Not much. Yep, all gone. But that's from thousands of hours and hundreds of knives. Well, that's pretty much my sharpening for the day. I'm gonna have to get off of here and then go up to the shop. I might stick around long enough to talk to my wife before I go, but that's another 2 hours, so. I have got to get, any of you guys know? Any of you guys know good wireless cameras? There's been a lot of break-ins in my neighborhood, and I'm thinking about putting a couple cameras upstairs because that's where they've come in the last couple times. And I don't like the idea of someone climbing in my daughter's bedroom window. That just irritates the shit out of me. We had the house broken into once. I was not at all pleased with it. It was on my daughter's birthday, as a matter of fact, when the house got broken into that time. Just received your email reply I took last night. So that I just got a text from a customer about a knife. He wanted to send me with a tip pair on a Recon 1. He found my video of me fixing that Recon 1 for my military buddy. So just to make sure that we've got all the stropping compound off of this, the diamond stropping, it likes to get down in the steel, and this seems to pull it out. Let's give it 2 quick runs on the belt strop, the leather strop with chromium oxide. 1, 2 more. It just gives it that final real high polish. That thing is sharp. That's it, guys. 3 knives in 94 minutes, and there was a lot of talking involved in that, so I think that there was a lot more. If I had just went straight at it and actually sharpened the whole time instead of just bullshitting with you guys, it probably would have went quicker. I know I'm out of frame, but I'm getting ready to go in the house, and you guys are gonna come with me. Let's see here. 3 knives. Oh, fuck, I have an Archbishop I still have to do. Yeah, we're not done yet. I have an Archbishop still to do. I forgot. I set it down there and didn't finish it yet. Oh, sorry, guys. Let's put back up here. My phone's real warm. I think it's because it's sitting in the sun. That could be why it looks so dark on my side, if my phone is sitting in the sun. I have a Maker's Choice Archbishop that I have to do. Came in. Oh, nice. It's already sharp. I just resharpened. I had to resharpen my Archbishop. It's the first time I've had to do it in a while, but I just finished resharpening it a couple days ago, and that's the nice thing about Elliot's edges are always so nice and even. I basically take his edge off. I reprofile it just a little bit. My edges are a little bit thinner than Elliot's factory edges, but the nice thing is his edges are so consistent and even, because he's really good at freehand sharpening as well, that it doesn't take a lot of work to do what I'm talking about. 26 people still on here after 90 minutes. What is wrong with you guys? You know something I never do? I never go back and watch my own videos. I watch them before I edit them. So all of my videos, or I watch them before I post them and edit them. And there's only been a couple times I haven't done that. And I went back and deleted live feeds because I didn't necessarily like the content that I was putting up. Very rarely do I do that. There you go. This one needs a little bit more work up here on the... Bring that angle back. You see, did anybody comment something when I wasn't looking? Just in and out at the desk, please. Let's see if I can get this one done real quick. This goes to, this is going to go to Mr. Anderson, the Swede, as everything that he owns that comes to me is marked as the Swede. That's Chris and Elliot have marked everything. Say, hey, the Swedes and I are ready to pick up and sharpen. I'm like, okay, cool. Then I know exactly who they're talking about. I actually told him that there's a scene in a movie that I really, really love. It's a movie that my dad and I used to watch. It's called El Dorado. James Caan, Robert Mitchum, and Robert Caan, John Wayne, James Caan, and Robert Mitchum. And it's got Ed Asner, a couple other people in it, and Ed Asner plays the bad guy. But at any rate, there's a scene where they go to a guy named Swede Johansson, and I told him that, and he went and watched the movie just to see that. It's like a 1 minute piece where they go in. I gotta do something about my daughter's room and the mosquitoes. Apparently she got chewed up last night. She told me that this morning when she got up. She was showing me she had mosquito bites all over her shoulders and everything. So shoulders and legs. What I'm afraid of, I don't know if it's 100% mosquitoes. It might be fleas. We had all that rain, and then now we've got the dog here, and both the dogs, we found fleas on both the dogs like several times, and you can't do anything about it here in San Diego. There's just nothing to do about it. It doesn't get cold enough for them to go dormant. It's dry enough that they live, but then every time it rains, they come back out. Both. I want some for above my front door. I might just get the Ring doorbell for that, and my garage door. And then, but I want to put some cameras upstairs in the hallway, so in case somebody does break in, I can see it. And plus, I'm going to put a sign up that says "Smile, you're on camera." It's not a lie. I can hook my Alexa is set up so it faces my daughter's bedroom window, and I can monitor that as long as I'm on Wi-Fi, like at Elliot's or something. I can just log into my my Echo show and see the live feed of what's going on in that room, because that would be the only one they could get in. Well, I think it's about time for me to do some stone maintenance too. I may, if I get back in time, do a video about stone maintenance. And what to look for and how you do it and all that stuff. Because these stones need flattening a little bit. I need a 400 grit. A 400 grit stone. I need a 1000 grit stone. 1000 grit. The 400 grit's not near as bad as the 1000. The 1000 is starting to get pretty thin. I think I hear a delivery. Everything's being scanned and delivered. What was that? Somebody said we use this stuff on our, oh man, we use this stuff for our dog after we give them a bath. It's like a drop thing you put down their back so we get fleas. Yeah, my dog's allergic to that. I don't have a vicious dog. I couldn't do that. I'll put up a smile you're on camera sign though. But my dog's allergic to that. I think it's the front line. So we use this collar that's like it, and it works really well. It's just that there's so many fleas right now that you can't do much about it. So it does work, but not as good as some of the other stuff. But she does get a flea bath like once a week or two when she starts getting funky smelling. But I mean, you can come back from a walk and check her and she's got fleas because she picked them up in the grass. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I've got to get I've got the stuff for it. I got to treat the carpet and stuff upstairs in the kids' room. Might just pull all the electronics out and just use a fogger in that room. We did that once before, and it seemed to do a pretty good job of getting rid of them. We had mice here not too long ago too. That's something we've never had before. Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking about doing. And then any of the spaces I can't get with borax and then vacuum up, I'll be able to do with the fogger. I've got a box of the Mule Team borax that I'm going to use to try and do that. I would like to see YouTube do a thing where you guys can see comments on the feed after it goes live. So we're at right around 5,000 grit right now. We're almost done with this, so that's not bad timing. It's about another 15 minutes for that Archbishop's not bad. Like I said, Elliot had already sharpened it. I don't think he realized I was sharpening it as well. So I gave my daughter's ice skating coach that rake that I did the black and pink. Well, I'm getting ready. I'm on 8,000 right now. I'm getting ready to go to 10,000. So I go from 220 to 400. 400. I think that's what somebody was asking me. Grip progression. What's your grip progression? Yes. So I go from this is like a 50. I go from 50 to 220. If I need to reprofile, I go from 50 to 220, 220 to 400, 400 to 600, 600 to 1,000, 1,000 to 2,000, 2,000 to 3,000, 3,000 to 5,000. Depending on the steel, I can go from 5,000 to 10,000. That's not that unheard of. I just spend more time on stones. A lot of times I go 8,000, and then that's why I stop. But these ones go to 10,000, which is where I'm at. Just making sure. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to 10,000. And if somebody really, really wants to get crazy, I will go to 12,000, but that costs extra. But from, something's on fire. And I don't mean my mosquito coil, something hot. I have to check, make sure nothing got left on in the house. It might be a coffee pot. I think I'm smelling coffee. But 10,000 grit is usually where I stop for most knives. 20 CV, you don't need to go past 10,000. You get a really nice finish. It stays really sharp. At 10,000 grit and strop, it comes out gorgeous. And it is sharp. My favorite stone. What is my favorite stone? For sentimental reasons? Oh no, froze up. Can you guys hear me? Can you see me? Because it looks on my screen as though I'm frozen. Huh. Okay, guys. Well, I'm done with this anyway. I was going to get finished, so I'm going to end this because it's frozen. I will talk to you guys later. You guys have a good afternoon. I might do an Instagram feed later if I get home in time. I will talk to you guys later.